Hi everyone, Sabrina here. Weird kind of intro, I know, but my camera was already placed like this, and since I am going to paint this and I wanted to explain what I did before I start, I think this way of intro is better. So what I did, pretty simple to see. Masking tape, this is frog tape, this. I find it sticks better to the canvas and really help cover those places. And also, what I did to make sure is I put a coat of this matte medium, any fluid medium, or even if it's not matte, or it could be glossy or whatever, just transparent acrylic medium, only the polymer. I used it to place a coat of paint on the edges of the tape, and this here too. So it doesn't lift and the paint won't seep under it. This part here, it's not too bad if this happened, but once I'm done with this and I remove that tape, I will cover those parts. So I will want to cover my corners really well so the paint doesn't seep on the already painted parts. So I will repeat this process a couple times to complete the patchwork drips. And I have my paints mixed the usual way for this, and the usual way is for the inks, high flow acrylic, it's inks or high flow acrylic, they're pretty much the same. I mix them 1 part ink or high flow acrylic to 10-part medium. For the heavy body paint, it's 50-50 paint and medium, and for the fluid acrylic, it's 30% paint to 70% medium, and then I add about 15% water to the fluid acrylic, 25% water to the heavy body acrylic, and a splash to the inks or high flow acrylic, like not even 5%. So, let's get started with this. I already have paints here, so I'm going to use that. No wasted paint here. So, 1 drip done, gonna let it like that, just leave it. I'm gonna put gloves on and cover my sides, the sides here. It's really difficult to just drip and not swirl. You really have to find the just perfect spot with your cup. And not get impatient. Sometimes it drips slowly, you want to drip it more, and you swirl it. Like this. And last corner for now. All right, so that's done. Gonna cover the little corner here, and then we will let this dry, and I will be back in like a little bit. Well, to be fair, I have to let this dry, but not too much. Oof, okay. I have to let this dry to the point where it's going to be dry to the touch, but still tacky. Not super dry, cured, all that stuff. Because if I do that, well, the paint will have difficulties with the masking. So it's better to remove it once the paint dries and has stopped moving, but is not cured and not too dry. It's easier to remove the tape that way and get really clean, nice edges. So yeah, patchwork drip part 3. We'll get there, and I'll get the result that I had in mind. Not exactly, but it's getting there already. Alright, so back to work on this one. Remember, this is the patchwork drip with masking tape in between to really have nice squares. And as you can see, it quite worked well. Those 4 corners are really nice edges. I waited for them to dry and cure a bit, so when I pull the tape, I'm not going to pull this paint with it, and then I taped over the part I didn't want paint on, and I am going to drip. Also, what I did to really help and get nice clean edges is I put some fluid medium on the edges. What the fluid medium does is it comes and really blocks and makes a seal, and will fill the little hole if there are any, so the paint won't go under the tape. And since fluid medium is transparent, if it goes under the tape, that's fine. And it also prevents the paint from going under. And the paint is not transparent, so we would see the paint and we won't see the fluid medium. So that's why I do that. I put 2 coats. I'm not sure if you can see, but yeah, I put it on the edge. Make sure it goes and blocks the holes if there are any, sorry. And after that, let it dry, and now I'm going to drip. And I have leftover paints that I'm going to use. Of course, fluorescent pink, a little bit of black, not too much. There's already quite a bit of black in the other ones. White. And blue. We have to make a little bit of change in between each patchwork, right? Some of the patchwork will match, and others will match. Like those 2 will match, those 4 matches, but I'm going to use a little bit of fluorescent pink in all my patchworks, so it kind of unifies the whole thing. So, yeah. Oh, that's too blue. I want a bit of details, you know. Oh, and I have to be careful not to drip on the already... Alright. Concentration. Where are my other colors? Alright, I don't like that at all. Where are my other colors in there? I want some details in my drips and I need color separation for that. Oh yeah, that's better. Not sure where the black went, but quite like it. Looks nice. Alright, so that's done. Now I'll let this dry and we'll come back for it. When it's not completely dry, like dry but still tacky, you know, so it's easier to remove the tape, and that way also I get nice clean lines and I don't pull paint with it. So yeah, I'll be back like probably tomorrow morning. Right now it's evening, and yeah. Alright, we are back with this painting. I taped over the corners and the other square that I made before, let the paint dry and cure a little bit, so when I pull the tape off, it won't pull the paint with it. I used some Liquitex Fluid Medium to seal the edges. That will prevent the fluid paint from infiltrating under the tape and going on the parts that I've already painted. And just the same process over and over. And today I'm just going to use my leftover paints from today's painting that you can see part of it here. So if I really want the patchwork look, you know, I have to use different colors. Alright, so let's start from the middle here. Like I often say, I feel like very, very often, well, what I like is that the sides, especially on gallery wrapped canvas like this, the thick sides, I really like when the sides are like the continuation of the painting. I really enjoy that. So I try as much as I can to include the sides in my painting. That's why I will be careful, cover them properly and everything. And then the decision comes to the buyer of the painting. If they want to frame it, they can. If they don't want to frame it, they can enjoy the sides of the painting too. So, yeah, that's about it for now. Only the middle part left. Alright, last part of the patchwork drip. So this took me a while, but I haven't forgotten about it. It's just that I have to wait for the paint to cure in between each, well, cure. Not completely, just be more solid on the canvas because I don't want to pull it off with the tape. And yeah, in between each squares that I do, and I have to put medium on the edges of the tape so it doesn't leak paint under the tape, and you know, that kind of stuff. You know how it goes anyway. I have some leftover paints that I'm going to use today. I have Prussian blue. I just hope I'll have enough. Fluorescent green. And cerulean blue chromium. As I said, I just hope I'll have enough because I really don't have a lot. Worst part, I'll have to remix a little bit. I think I'll have enough for just a little square here. I'll try to make the paint count. Every drips count. Ooh, it fell on the tape. Alright, so now what I do is just drip. I had enough! Barely, but I had enough. So now, all I have to do is let this dry. Well, about 24 hours. Around that. And then I will come back, remove the tape, and it will be done! Finally! Can't wait to see the final result with all the corners and squares uncovered. I think it's going to be quite interesting. And yeah. So, I hope you'll enjoy this. It was a long time in the making, but I did not forget. It was in the works. Alright, so I'm really happy with it, and I think that the green in the middle really adds a lot to this painting, especially that it goes from lighter to darker, and it really contrasts with the pink there's in most of the squares. Love this square, it has a bunch of glitter in it, and well, now there's a reflection, but yeah, we can see it. It's subtle, but it's there. And I'm real happy. It looks really cool. It's fluidity, movement, but also sharp line contrasting with the fluidity of it. And yeah, I'm a happy painter.